Since 1945, part of the Dodge roster that's been taken on and off. The nameplate of Ram Power Wagon is since 2005, which is known for the big engines, the big wheels, off-roading capable Ram. And today, Georgie and Chris has given us the 2022 Ram 2500 Power Wagon here at Furman Ram of Wesley Chapel in the Bullet Silver Metallic. New for this year, a big boy Ram carries over the powertrain, going against your Ford F-250 with the trimmer package. But when you get to these levels, my question is this the most capable production off-roading oriented truck out? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to go over all the specs and details starting now. Ram 2500 Power Wagon is a big boy truck. It packs the off-roading performance with a front and rear locking differential. Disconnected sway bar, the 3/4 ton pickup adds a 12,000 pound winch. Through Zeon, the Power Wagon sits higher at 14.2 inches, which is almost 6 inches taller than a Ram 1500. Fords up to 30 inches of water, which is going to be a little bit less than the F-250 trimmer. The width at 79.5 inches and a height at 78.1 inches. Aero composite LED for your low, your high beams, and your daylight runnings. Blacked out grille, which sets the tone to that silver for the Ram, and it just really looks aggressive, and it gives that big bad boy styling to the front Q. The lower bumper on the front is going to be blacked out with your 2 tow hooks, also blacked out front parking sensors. Performance style hood with the decals, the badging on the side, 2500 heavy duty. It's going to set over these flared fenders that's going to encase these 17 by 8 inch matte black diamond cut wheels. 14.2 inches is the front disc reading. The rear is at 14.1 inches. Bilston off-road shock absorbers, multi-link front and rear suspension with coil springs. Ram Articulink suspension, which is very unique. This is an extra linkage in the lower control arm, which allows for greater articulation of the front axle. So you can do your off-roading capabilities with this vehicle in over 14 inches of ground clearance, which is insane. The length at 238.8 inches, a wheelbase at 149 inches. You'll get a single exhaust outlet right here. All the gloss black is going to be on the lower trim, and you're going to have the mask effect over the window treatment as well. Hemi 6.4 liter badging, wraparound LED tail lamps, Ram Power Wagon decaled right in the center. In the powerhouse is going to tow up to 10,520 pounds with a payload of 1,564 pounds. If that's not enough, they do have the Tradesman, which tows up to 1,500 plus pounds. Payload over 4,000 pounds. And if you are comparing it to the Ford F-250 trimmer, this one's going to be a little bit less with the payload and towing. However, if you really need to max it out, get the 3500 and you're going to have towing over 37,000 pounds and a payload over 7,600 pounds, which is insane for any truck on the road to do this much capabilities. You have your spare tire tucked underneath. We got the reverse sensors, 360-degree reverse camera, new tow mode with reverse mirror camera also going inside to your cargo or your bed. It's going to be 76.3 inches of length. The width at 66.4 inches, between the wheel well housing at 51 inches, a height of 20.2 inches. If you want to get LED lights, it's going to be around $170, giving us a total 57.5 cubic feet, but this is a 6.4 liter V8 heavy duty Hemi. I don't know what you're thinking, but I want to hear that exhaust note. Let's go inside, start it up, and hear it now. Ram 2500 Power Wagon is definitely an off-roading oriented truck that packs performance and styling cues. It's going to be a little bit longer. It's going to be a little bit wider. But you know what? That's what we want. And it's going to back the performance with a 6.4 liter V8 heavy duty Hemi producing 410 horsepower and 429 pound-feet of torque that's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, shift on the fly, 4-wheel drive transfer case, achieving 12 and 18 mpgs. The curb weight is just a touch over 7,000 pounds. 0 to 60, 7 to 8.3 seconds. 0 to 100 at 21.2 to around 25 seconds. A top speed between 100 and 105 miles per hour with a quarter mile at 15.5 to 16.5 seconds. All these numbers are great for the road and performance and for the weight of this truck. If you're comparing it like I have been to the Ford F-250 Trimmer, that one's going to be a little bit faster. It's going to be a little bit heavier. You will not be able to receive the Cummins turbo diesel with the Power Wagon, but at the end of the day, you have all of the suspension cues. You have all the raw performance from that Hemi engine, everything you need to take it off-roading. Let me know in the comments what you think about the 2022 Ram 2500 Power Wagon. As we go into the interior, go over the tech, and take this for our test run. Entering inside the Ram 2500 Power Wagon without running boards, I would recommend you do it if you're going to use this as a daily driver. 40.9 inches of headroom, and it's going to be the same for the leg space. Black leather bucket front seats. They're heated, they're ventilated. 10-way power adjustment for the front. Memory for the driver. Power Wagon stitched in with the white contrast stitching. So I like that we're getting luxury and off-roading hand in hand. That is super cool. We have the large 12-inch Uconnect 5, so we have the pinch and the swipe because this has your navigation. Go into your home so you can see we have some wedges here that you can custom change it as well, so you can make it like a 2-screen. Go into your media, so that way you can see your FM, Sirius XM, Bluetooth connectivity, AM, and you have your Alexa. You also have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, which would connect to the phone. Your comfort, you have a dual climate control settings. You can do it through here or through the knobs. Go into your vehicle settings here. Now you have your off-roading page. Click into it so you can see the vehicle dynamics, your accessory gauges, your pinch and roll, forward-facing camera, and this is the best part. You have a 360-degree camera with, as you can see, I don't even know how many different ways you can look at this. You have your side view mirrors, you have your forward camera, your back camera, you have your cargo camera, you have a trailer reverse guide, which you can also move it to the right or you can move it to the left to make it easier for you. And I mean, it just shows you how much safety that you have in this vehicle. Click into your apps so you can see all the apps we have. You can scroll it down so that way you can see the full page as well, because there is quite a bit. Your Wi-Fi hotspot, 9-speaker Alpine with a subwoofer, 2 storage glove box starting on the passenger side, which is pretty cool. The Power Wagon badging, and the dash is going to be simple yet usable with storage on the top and a 12-volt. You got the Alpine just to look at you. Digital rear view mirror. You can put it either way. The only disadvantage is where it's placed because it is on the cabin. It's not towards the end of the bed, so it's going to be a little bit further in than out, so you need to watch with that. Elbow is going to be super soft, open up to a 2 storage tier. First storage, you got a USB. Open up for the next, a lot of storage. You have some math equations to help you on the roll. You have adjustable storage tray that you can fit your change. Cup holders, you can easily fit a 16.9 ounce water bottle. I would say you can fit a 20 ounce. Move that back all the way, and you have a home plug. You have 2 areas for your smartphones, and they have an area where you can roll the charger, because you know what, you got 4 more USB ports and another storage tray here. You have your hill descent control, you have your traction control, your towing haul, all of your functionality right here, the shift on the fly for the 4-wheel drive, and your sway bar disconnect. Leather wrapped steering wheel, it's going to be multi-function and heated. You got functionality even on the back. The gauge cluster is going to be digital and analog. On the digital, you can change through your vehicle settings and you can pretty much see every single thing that the vehicle has or needs with pressures. You do have an off-roading page for your pinch and roll, and you also have the drivetrain, which is super cool. Everything else, I mean, it's just normal standard stuff except for the trailer tow, because you'll have your trailer brake. You can see your trailer light check and your trailer trip, because when you're doing services, sometimes you don't know. With this, now you're going to know when to service your trailer. Simulated carbon fiber is going to be throughout. On the door panel, you're going to get one touch up and down for the front windows. They're dual pane with that simulated carbon fiber underneath the harder materials. And you're going to get a soft leatherette in between. As for storage, 2 tiers you have. So you can fit a large cell phone or even maybe like an iPad. And you can fit probably 4 or 5, maybe even 8 16.9 ounce water bottles. We do not have a sunroof, but you know, the space is efficient, the storage capacity is great. Let's see how I look in the back. Sitting in the back, I'm at 39.8 inches of headroom, 40.2 inches of legroom, which is super efficient. They make do pretty well with the space. And even for shoulder space, I have a ton. It's almost like going to another country to put my arms on the armrest. And when I do hit a little bit of plastic, which I don't like. Cup holders, it's a bit tight for a 16.9 ounce water bottle, but you know what? You have some more cup holders here in the center that you could fit probably a 20 ounce. It's not going to be a flat floor. You have a home plug, 4 more USB ports, a storage tray, 2 air vents, and some more cup holders that I would say another 20 ounce to maybe 32 ounce can fit. Storage behind both of the front seats. As for the door panel, harder materials on the top, the simulated carbon fiber look with the leatherette. It's not going to be a one touch up and down, but you still have that 2 tiers of storage, which is good because it makes it super efficient. These seats fold up to a 60/40 and you can make it almost a flat floor because you can lay it out. There's some storage that's tucked underneath there as well. Let's see how I look in the center. Sitting into the center, headroom is absolutely no issue. Legroom, the same thing. Not really blocking the vents or the charging ports or cup holders. There's a total of 4 right here, which is awesome, and that's not necessarily something that's usually in a truck. And the fact that you have it here just makes it even better for storage capacity. And because it has like a tray that sits up, my feet are actually sitting in its own area, so I'm not actually using any real estate for the side passengers. And the last thing that's really nice is the fact that you have a storage tray right underneath here. You can open it while you're sitting in the back seat, and it's not going to do anything to bother you. You can actually put storage inside there, so that way you don't have your iPads or any phones or any electronics out. You can put everything away and just relax if you're driving on a long journey out of the state. Taking the 2022 Ram 2500 Power Wagon out for our test run. This is definitely a big boy truck, and it's a raw power for off-roading capabilities. I mean, you sit up pretty high. You're not gonna have the air suspension like you would normally get because this particular one is only set up the way it is with the off-roading capabilities, with the Bilston shock absorbers and whatnot that I explained through the exterior review. I like the fact that they've added as much capabilities and you can still use it as a daily use, because usually when you get this type of performance, it's gonna be so rugged that you're gonna be jittery. It's a pretty smooth drive, which you're about to see. And here's the power from that Power Wagon. We're gonna give that Hemi a little go. She is lovely. The exhaust note that you get out of it, it's a Hemi. And I mean, heavy duty performance, 6.4 liters, so you're not really gonna be worried about your eco-friendliness in this particular vehicle. The sit, I mean, you're over 14 inches of ground clearance, so you do sit up high, pretty much like a tractor trailer truck. And I do like that because when you're comparing it to the F250 trimmer package, this one sets up a little bit higher. You can't ford through water as much. You're gonna lose about 3 inches, but you still get almost 3 feet. 30 inches is a lot to go through. And I mean, that's just awesome. As for quietness, you can hear the exhaust note pretty much a lot of the time. There is blind spot monitoring, so it's gonna help because the vehicle is super long and it does feel a little bit wide. The hood does give you a good attribute of how forward the length is, but if I put the digital rear view mirror, like I was saying on the interior specs, it's positioned a little bit too close for my liking, so it makes me feel like everything is up close, and then it makes me feel like I can't maneuver the car the way I want to. And I want to be able to do this without any issues, and that's what you're going to be able to do with this Power Wagon. You can really go fast. I mean, 7 to 8 seconds is pretty quick for a truck that weighs a touch over 7,000 pounds. that itself is insane. So the numbers are just crazy. Yes, it's not going to be as fast as the F250 trimmer. However, the fact that you can still get those quick speeds and the maneuverability is quite well. The braking is not bad either. Now you will feel a little bit more in the braking because at the end of the day, this thing is over 3 tons. Checking the turn radius at more or less a stop point. This vehicle is pretty long, so don't expect it to get much less than about 3 lanes, but this is the best part. I mean, you're passing compact cars in such a large vehicle, and you do it comfortably. Now, when you go over certain terrain, you're gonna feel some of the bumps, but for the most part, it does absorb it pretty well. For an off-roading suspension, I do let a lot slide. Now, there is 3 things I like and 3 things that I dislike. Is anything more than that, I'll be buying this vehicle. The 3 things that I like about this vehicle is you are huge. I mean, 14.2 inches of ground clearance. That's almost 6 inches more than a Ram 1500, and it's long. It's also taller than the F250, so they did a great job with that. And you still have the capacity to floor through water without any issues there. And they added the off-roading suspension, which just makes it even more of a treat. The second thing that I like about it, you get the Uconnect 5. That 12-inch infotainment is one of the best in class because everything is very user-friendly. It basically tells you how to use it, and you have the off-roading page, which also makes it easy because you're going to take this off-roading at the end of the day. The third thing that I like about the car is how much storage you have. It's insane, but wait, 410 horsepower. Just a lovely note. But it's crazy. I mean, you have storage capacities and cubbies everywhere, so you really don't have to worry if you bring too much stuff. You have storage all over, and you can fold up the seats and make the floor completely flat. So it's awesome in that attribute because I don't have to rely on the bed. 3 things that I dislike about the vehicle: it's super long. It's going to be a little bit tight getting into parking. You're probably not going to be able to park in the front parking places to get your groceries and to show off your Power Wagon. You're going to have to park it in the back, which is still fine because you know what? I need some exercise and cardio anyways. The second thing that I dislike about the vehicle is that the width, it's not so overly wide. However, because of the way the mirrors are angled and that digital rear view mirror camera is set up, it kind of offsets and makes it a little bit tough to drive, especially if you're doing it for a test drive and you've never driven a big truck. This might be a little bit of a, oh man, it's kind of tough to drive. It really isn't, but it seems that at the beginning, and I would say it'd probably take you at least a couple 100 miles or at least 1 fill of gas to make you feel more comfortable. The third thing that I dislike about the vehicle, obviously the gas consumption. At the end of the day, it's a Hemi, but I mean, you're basically getting like TRX specs. That's crazy because we're not getting TRX speed. 429 pound-feet of torque. Just relax, get that big smile on your face. Because we're in Florida, you're gonna have the sun making you feel like an all-star, and you're set up so high so you're literally like on a pedestal. Comparing this to the F250 with the trimmer package, I just recently done the F150 with the trimmer package, and I like the package because it actually ups your towing, and it ups your payload, and it ups the horsepower. It also ups that 0 to 60 to make it quicker. But it's also going to up the curb weight to nearly 8,000 pounds. Yes, it's going to be faster, and yes, it's going to be a little bit more eco-friendly. You're going to have more storage in this particular vehicle. It's also going to be a smoother drive than the F250 trimmer package because of the setup that you have in the suspension, and it's going to be a little bit more noisy in this one, where it's going to be a little bit more composed than that one. So if you want that raw power and that V8 Hemi sound, this is definitely the way you want to go. If you want the luxury amenities, I feel the luxury is the best in the Ram. I'd like to thank Chris and Georgie here at Furman Ram of Wesley Chapel for giving us this 2022 Ram 2500 Power Wagon for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, click that subscribe button, check out the details, the merchandise, the website, and everything we do here at Hawkeye Rides.